very beginning because, well, then I have to say it 14 more times, but that's okay. I'm Dr. Mo. It's obvious in the name. Behind me, you will hear Courtney and Amanda, and hopefully they will get on the TikTok. Video unavailable. Yeah, I'm logged into the wrong one. Doesn't matter. So someone else will have that link. It's not here. Wait a second. Why does it say it's private? Hold on. Check.
Yeah, I'm on your thing and I don't see anything.
All right, hold on, guys. Let's make sure it's up on YouTube. So, but you'll hear Courtney and Amanda behind me. Let's make sure it's up on the YouTube. If not, we will restart it. And yeah, it shouldn't be private. I said it's a public, so let's do this. What'd you say, Amanda?
I found you on the TikTok.
Oh, wait, are you here? Hold on.
Yeah, I joined.
But how do I can't, oh, there we go.
I think I'm too obscure, right?
Hold on.
You got to get more people.
Okay. So what we're here to do is we're here to talk GLP-1s and all the things, all the lifestyle things. I did a video this morning that was about like what I eat on Mounjaro, right? Like, because I'm on Mounjaro or compounded tirzepatide. Still have not paid the $550 for Zepbound because I can't bring myself to do it. Oh, and I can't find it anyway, so why bother trying? Yeah, hold on. As soon as I'm like, I gotta find my videos here. So, but I did this video and it was about like what to eat on Mounjaro, and then I realized this is what you eat on like everything. So what the hell's the difference? I don't get it. So, all right, Neil is connecting to Zoom, which is going to YouTube. Just started Zepbound. What's the difference in compound? So, hi, Neil.
Hi, y'all.
Hey.
Compound is where they take the base chemical that goes into Zepbound or Mounjaro or any other drug. We're just using these as examples, and put it into, and they compound it with another medication when things are on shortage, can't get them, have an allergic reaction to something, want some nausea control, that sort of thing. So it's the same base compound that is tirzepatide, equivalent to tirzepatide when you're talking the Zepbound thing. All right, so we got Courtney is visible on TikTok, on the YouTube, if I can get this shit to actually pop up. We've got Amanda and Courtney and Neil and Romper Room and me. So, all right, let's go. Oh no, hold on. It's right there. Home, public live. You watching. I don't know. Let's click on it. Let's actually pop up. Oh, sorry. There we go. Nope, we are live. It's on there. It's public. It's public. So if you go to watchdrmo.com, I know Watch Hams will still get you there too, Neil. But but I switched it so it wasn't Watch Hams anymore, partly because we do talk a lot about provider things and practice things. And we always seem to kind of mix and match these. So if you're a healthcare provider, feel free to ask questions on how we do things because we're good with that. Usually Maribel will pop in, sneak into the TikTok on the live too. But I switched it so. Nope, somebody's got the YouTube up.
That's me.
Takes a second. All right, so guys, ask your questions. So we're talking Mounjaro, Zepbound, semaglutide. See, pretty soon we're gonna have too many drugs that we can't list them out, right? So we've got, oh yeah, this is not medical advice. So not medical advice, not legal advice, not financial advice, and sure shit, not relationship advice. So don't ask us for that. Go somewhere else. Go to your doctor for medical advice. Even if your doctor and you're on here, doesn't mean I'm your doctor on here. So, but yeah, I was saying earlier, Neil, I did a video this morning on what to eat on Mounjaro. And then I realized as I was doing it, it's kind of like what to eat, period. Like, yeah, you just eat less of it. And Michael Pollan wrote a book ages ago before he got weird into shrooms and shit. And he said, eat food, mostly plants, not too much. Like, it's a real short book, you know, but it was the Food Rules or something it was called. I love that book. I saved it. And I got rid of a lot of diet books. So
yeah, but how do you get your protein in then?
True that. Mostly plants, not all plants. I had a label issue this morning Did anyone else that like, what's up with the stampy label thing? I'm like, could you not do this? It's got the things hanging off the top, just
Oh,
perfect.
yeah.
Same.
Sometimes it's
Same.
everywhere. You lose half of it.
I know. I'm like, it's just power. We're not core power today. We're just power,
Yeah.
you know.
Just whatever. It's lunch.
And I'm finishing my bowl of fruit because I was smart enough today to not wait until now and be starving when I got on this damn live. So I'm almost done. I'm gonna eat. So ask questions. Hold on. I gotta move the YouTube out of the way because it looks like people are talking to me. And I'm getting
No one
distracted.
there. No one there.
No one's talking to me. No one likes me. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I did a healthcare provider training earlier today. Oh yeah. And like us. Hold on. Thanks, Neil.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to be a patient or check us out, go to amstelehealth.com. Click be a patient. Pretty easy. You don't pay us until we decide it's a good relationship. We're going to date before we get married. So I told you it wasn't relationship advice. Got any advice for Ozempic users? Absolutely.
Sure.
On max dose Ozempic, lost 10 pounds in the beginning, nothing since been months. So if you're a type 2 diabetic, we usually kind of operate under the guise that, and it happens practically anyway, there's a lot of metabolic repair that has to happen before you start losing the pounds. Now, that being said, some people, not diabetic. So some people, and I was an early responder with tirzepatide, which is a godsend. But we talk about 5 pillars. We talk about protein, hydration. Anybody got a hydration drink so we can show it? Oh, Courtney's got hers. There we go. We are that silly. We've always got shit around. I prefer Body Armor Light because it has enough potassium in it that my skin doesn't feel weird and my muscles don't feel weird. So hydration, protein. We'll talk about protein recommendations in a second. Stress, sleep, and movement. Those are our 5 pillars. So the thing is, though, we don't want to like overstress people and be like, you've got to do these things. You've got to eat keto. You've got to count your macros. You know, we usually talk about women. We just aim for 100 grams of protein a day because it fits lean body mass really well. As an estimate, I mean, I should really be up around 120, to be honest. So get in your 100 grams of protein, 50 grams before morning, and then let the rest fall where it lies. If you're actually on your dose, which would be like an appropriate dose of a GLP-1, you have that reduction in food noise and that appetite reduction. These are not diet drugs. This is not your mom's hydroxycut or your hydroxycut, depending on your age, or your mom's phentermine for that matter. Like Amanda's story about the friend/patient who was on Contrave and phentermine for a year with 0 results. And now how what's she down now?
31 and 12 weeks.
31 and 12 weeks. Yeah. She just needed the right effing drug, you know? So if you're hydrating and meeting your protein goal, if you were our patient, we would consider adding on metformin, naltrexone, depending on the reasons why you're overeating the drug. So I'm going to be quiet and eat my apple so you guys can answer.
Let me see. There was a question.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing would be that you're still eating too much. Like if you're not losing weight, there's too many calories. That's just plain and simple, unfortunately. It's also, this may be not the right drug for you. Tirzepatide, Mounjaro, Zepbound might be the better drug for you. Out of the 4,000 plus patients we've treated, I've only had one non-responder. And I don't even think he lost 10 pounds. So that's, you have one up on him. But that's where I would look first is like, do a food diary, see where you're at, and are you actually that hungry to need to eat that? Like, are you still eating too much because you're hungry? Then maybe that's not the right drug. If you're like eating, you just don't realize how much you're eating. I mean, I think we've talked about it before. Like if you like Chick-fil-A, like their sauce, that itty bitty packet of sauce is like 150 calories or something like that, like an absurd amount. And no one's eating one of those sauces.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, so one thing that Nicole just said, no appetite, definitely not meeting your calories, but you are. Because if you're not losing weight, whatever your metabolism is for whatever reason, whether it's PCOS, thyroid, other things, you are eating as much as your body needs exactly. Because if you weren't, you'd be losing weight, right? No, we cannot get around like that statement. And I know it sucks. I've been there. Courtney's been there. Courtney's been there when I tell her. No
Yeah.
shitty, sorry.
It
This
was
is
what
why I
I
think
needed to hear though. Like I thought that, I had cut my diet down and I thought I had cut it down sufficiently, but it, took a friend and a provider to get to the real hard truth and say, but if you're not losing something in there's got to cut down in half. And you know what? I was fine. I wasn't still hungry. It was the brain thing for me that I thought this was a portion. I thought it was a small portion, thought I was getting in less than what I needed, but I wasn't losing or was losing extremely slowly. So I had to learn to like literally cut it in half. And I did have to track and it wasn't fun, but I lost the weight.
Yeah, this is where you food diary and you weigh and measure stuff to see where you're actually at. Because some small things that you're not really counting might add up very quickly.
Yeah. That, and if you have, we've talked about it before, like some of us eat very, very well for, 5, 6 days. And then we have one day that we decide we're just going to let it go. And it may be a cheat day. And for some of us, if we're already barely at any calorie deficit throughout the week, that one day of overindulgence may be enough to forego the week, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can torpedo my week with one day. Easy.
Mhm.
Easy.
Yep.
It's the roller coaster, right? That's why I do what I do. Yeah, a lot of people had adverse reactions to metformin before they were on GLP-1s. I could not handle metformin at all before I was on an appropriate dose of GLP-1. Now I can take it no problem. I take one a day at night.
Yeah, same with
don't
me.
know
Before
ahead.
semaglutide, I could only get one metformin in a day. And even then, sometimes it felt like my stomach was it felt terrible. And I could not bump to two. And I tried several times. After semaglutide, no problem. I can do two a day and there's no issues.
Yeah, and I don't have any medical knowledge why that is. But I realized, especially this morning, Corey's got a kind of a similar story, I had to make myself eat. Yeah, I was there. I mean, yesterday I actually, my calories were like 800 yesterday. I haven't had an 800 calorie day in a year and a half, because I bumped up to 7.5, no frankendosing. There you go. I didn't, because sometimes with our patients even we'll kind of make smaller changes, and I should really try to dial it in. So next time I might do like 7 or 6. Like I really should dial it in that way. But I just needed it. My brain isn't, I can't make good choices when my brain's an asshole. So I needed to shut him the hell up. And I did 7.5, shut him the hell up. All right. So Corey said, I'm 58, not losing on tirzepatide. I struggle with blood sugar issues. I'm assuming you mean they stay too high. And I correct me if I'm wrong, guys, or you think differently. You're just not on your dose yet. Because if you're struggling with blood sugar issues, you're not high enough. If you're at 15 and still struggling, that's when we need to add some other shit. And that's not an naltrexone thing. That's a metformin thing to try to get those blood sugars under control. We do not use GLP-1s in our practice with insulin. We would take you off the insulin and then do it this way. Let's see.
Kathy above is I don't get enough protein because I don't care for meat and eggs. So how do I get more protein?
I don't either. I mean, well, I don't mind eggs, but I'm too lazy to make them, frankly. So boy, okay, we have a theme for the day. We're going to bring this up tomorrow in our patient live too. On semaglutide, not a lot of results. I am seeing this over and over again on Facebook lately. And because I troll the Facebook group. Neil's the Reddit troll, and I hang out in the Facebook groups. And over and over again, I'm stalled. I'm not getting any results. I'm just going to give up. Like, okay, so here's my 2 cents on the giving up, right? Here's my life coach moment of the day. Number 14. What does that mean? What does that mean you're going to give up? Like, does that mean you're just going to like spend the rest of your life waiting to die on the couch to keep eating Doritos? Like, what the hell does that mean? You're going to stop trying to be healthy? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm relentless. I'm annoying, and I get it. My friends all know I'm annoying and relentless. Especially the ones on this call. But it's like, what does that mean? Like, I'm just going to give up. like, have we seen what happened? We know what happens. We've been down that road. I'm not going back, and I'm not going to stop until, if you want success and you're willing to do the work. And now the first bit of work is getting on the right dose. Don't quit at 0.25. And I'm not saying you did. This is just me bitching because it's all I hear lately on the Facebook groups. Neil deals with the shortages on Reddit. And I've got the Facebook group. I'm on semaglutide and it's not working. I got a text from one of my colleagues yesterday. How many non-responders have you had to tirzepatide? I'm like, none. None at all. They're just not at their dose yet. Well, I think we're going to switch to semaglutide. Are you not listening to me? Stay the course. It's like hypertension meds, right? You don't switch drugs until you've maximized the effectiveness of the drug you're on. Then you're like, oh shit, semaglutide ain't your drug. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, we got to go to the more expensive tirzepatide. It's really what we would do. I mean, that's a short version. I won't give up, but I'm frustrated. Oh, hell yeah. I hear you.
Mhm.
I hear you. I'm up 8 pounds since Christmas. Can't get that shit under control. Gaslighted by doctor this morning. Mother. I'm telling you, they're going to keep me on a soapbox today. My phone is bouncing. I don't like this holder quite as much because my dog is on the table again. Right behind my phone.
It's only on TikTok. On Zoom, you're perfectly stabilized.
Yeah, Zoom, it's okay. I'll use the other one next time because it was more stable. I wanted to try this one today. But TikTok, it's like, dude, stop jumping on the table. All right. No,
Let me
don't.
just hit this before you
Go ahead.
run for protein. Like quick grab ideas that we Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, lunch meat, like little smoked cubes of meat, protein bars, protein shakes, Quest chips, jerky snacks, protein muffins, cheese, like things you can grab quick that add up for the day to get you to that, what our magic number of 100 that we like to say.
I still haven't bumped mine up to 120. Yes.
It's
the dog-
hard to do.
Yes, it's hard to do. I mean, imagine, Neil, how many grams of protein do you get a day? Because for men, we recommend 150. He should be about 200.
Well, I'm at 200-ish. That's my goal is 200 a day.
Yeah.
If I go past it, I go past it.
Right. But that's your floor. Your floor. Neil's floor is 200.
Wow.
You
There's a
know,
lot of protein. Yeah, I have to play.
like, oh my God. Yeah. You're like, I eat all the time. And I got, yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is after that new research that came out that it doesn't matter when you time it, like you could eat, you don't have to spread it out. Like you can eat 100 grams at one sitting. That does make things easier. So if I'm like a little bit behind, it's like, okay, well, it's a big shake before bed.
Right. And you can, and I actually did the devotion protein that one of our patients cooks with all the time. And back in the day, we've all dieted, right? This shit's not new to us. But I made a devotion shake the other day. And it still is not, I like thin shakes. I can't, does anyone else sing that in their head? Sorry. Now I can't get it out of my head. I prefer thin protein shakes. I just do. I will put a Premier in a coffee cup, warm it up for a minute, throw 2 shots of espresso in. There's your morning mocha. You get 30 grams in. I do 20 grams of collagen every morning. I like to do a Premier shake around 10. I did not today, which is why I'm still trying to get through this 4 Power 40, the 42. We call it the 42s lovingly. So yeah, Bella, don't give up. That was my, so gaslighted by doctor because no pounds lost yet, told to drop your calories from 1,800 to 1,500. You're probably still not going to lose at 1,500. I'm going to call you right the hell out. Now, I'm all about getting gaslighted by my doctor because I did. That's why I'm here. But think about it this way, right? If you take in 1,000 calories a day with 100 grams of protein, right? Where you think, well, I can't run. My body doesn't run on that. Absolutely not. That's the point. So your body's going to grab and mobilize your stored energy, right? When you remove the stigma, the drama, it becomes kind of easy, right? Like, oh, wait, I need to eat enough so I have energy and I'm not, clawing the refrigerator door off. And I need to eat little enough that my body can mobilize my fat stores and use those too. You just have the gas tank's full. We just got to start tapping into it. And strength train. It's compound safe. So I'm not going to tell you. Yes. Okay.
We wouldn't prescribe it if it wasn't safe.
Yeah, we don't. I'm such a conservative ninny. If I had any concerns at all, I
Not
wouldn't
from
prescribe
Bob's
it.
Pet Tones.
Not from Bob's Peptides. Yes. Not, and I hope to God there's not a place called Bob's Peptides that I'm like bad mouthing all the time. I don't
Or
know. Somebody
promoting.
or promoting, right? Who knows? Because like we have some friends, acquaintances. I don't have any friends who do this because my friends are smarter than that. Who will order and reconstitute. I need it tested. I need it tested by the compound pharmacies. I need pharmacies that I trust, and I still make mistakes on the ones I trust. Now, granted, both of the ones that I trusted that didn't turn out, I'm trying to not swear, that didn't turn out to be great ideas in the long run. They were fine and they were sterile and they were doing the right things. One was running a business out of the back door, and the other one just had terrible financial practices. So the actual compound itself, I'd still inject their product. That's no problem. I just won't deal with the business side. Well, the one's closed down because the backdoor business really wasn't legal. So I can't help that part. But the compounding, I mean, I wouldn't prescribe it for my dad if it wasn't safe. I wouldn't inject it in myself. I told her some people are meant to be assholes. I love it. Too expensive to not see results. I don't disagree with that, but that's why people quit. I'm like, well, what results are you getting not spending any money? I just don't think people are optimized on it. I don't think they're optimized on their dose. And like Neil said, we have not had any non-responders with tirzepatide in our practice. So if semaglutide is really not your drug, give it a shot on tirzepatide to see what happens. And if you're abnormal, not human, doesn't work, which would be bizarro, then we wait for retatrutide to come out and see if the triple receptor does it for you. But I doubt it. I think usually it's some brain work that needs to be done, which sucks because that's the hard shit, right? I don't want to do that.
Diane's asking, what can I do to put muscle back on fast? Lost too much muscle mass all over.
Nothing.
Nothing to do it fast. Things you can do to put muscle on or keep muscle in general are make sure you hit your protein goals every day and strength training if you're able. That's kind of all you can do to hold on the muscle or build muscle.
And it's important to note you cannot build muscle while you're in a calorie deficit. So if you're still on a weight loss journey and you're still trying to lose some of those pounds, you can't really add on muscle. You can tone, you can keep what you have, you can do all the things to support the muscle
strong,
mass.
right? So
you can stay strong.
Don't want to bulk.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would like a little bit, but really what do you, so the question is, people want to put on muscle. I get it, right? I'd love to put on probably 5 pounds of muscle. I think it'd be amazing. I just can't get into a surplus until I do a quality food surplus, right?
Right.
And I don't have the brain capability to do that yet. So in the meantime, does that mean I don't chase Ironman goals? Does that mean I don't do any triathlon? No, it means I make the muscles I have stronger. I just don't build mass. Because remember, when you're building a house, if you go to build a house and you say, well, I want to do this, but I don't want to give it any wood. It's going to be a real short house. Yeah, telling my brain to shut the hell up. Yeah, mine's an asshole. God, now it's an asshole who saved my life in the past, so we're gonna go with it. So if you're in a calorie deficit daily and not losing weight, it means you're an alien cyborg, not human. Don't mean to be an asshole here, but I'm gonna call you out. I listen to too much Dan Martell lately. You guys would die if you heard his freaking coaching calls. He kicked some guy off the call yesterday. Oh my God. No, it was last week. I was listening to the replay last week. He kicked him off the call. He's like, I tell you to do the things. You're not doing the things. Come back on the call when you're doing the things. I'm going to let you stay in the program, but you're getting off this call. I'm like, damn.
And it's important to note, like, calorie deficit based on what? Based on some calculation that's just based on your height and weight. There's too many factors. So the fact of the matter is, if you calculated something that says this is how many calories you need and you're going below that, that calculator is not quite correct for you and your metabolism. So the best way to do it is to look at, here's what I'm taking in. I'm not losing based on what I'm taking in. I got to go below that in order to lose. Sucks, but it's reality.
It's a pain in the ass to track for 2 weeks and then say, all right, what happened over? Because I prefer 2 weeks when you're looking at this trend, because 1 week, especially with females, depending on reproductive age or status, I guess. you take 2 weeks and you're like, all right, where am I at this 2 weeks? I'm like, did I weigh myself this morning? I forgot yesterday, but I weighed myself this morning. Just so everyone knows, weighed myself this morning. Sorry, I was just thinking about it. You take the 2 weeks and you track and you say to the best of your ability, right? Even the best people tracking, registered dietitians tracking, still under or overestimate by up to 30%, right? So God, it's a pain in the ass because we're just not perfect. That pisses me off. First of all, let's start there. You guys get to see all the things, all the messed up things in my head. But it's hard, you know? Okay. But you know what the thing is though, you also need a supportive community and a drug that's at the correct dose. Like I said, I had to go up. I take 5 all the time. Well, okay, not anymore. I don't know what it's normally 5. Like 5 has been my dose. If I'm not eating like an asshole, 5 is a good dose. If I'm eating like a toddler or a 10-year-old, probably not even a toddler, I have to go to 7.5 so I can begin to make better food choices and get into a routine. I need routine. I can't eat stupid things. And I can't eat Doritos for lunch. Yes, they're still fucking in there. I didn't eat them, by the way. They're still in there because now they're really gross and stale, like disgusting. Like I'm not even gonna bother. We had people in the house last week, a week and a half ago. So like I can't eat hyper palatable, highly refined foods on a regular basis because I'll overeat the drug. And like you said, it's a lot of money. Protein shakes cause dumping. Neil?
I'm wondering if that's just like a sensitivity to what's in it, if it's causing dumping. Like it's just the wrong shake for you. Whether it's the lactose in it. So I would try something else, like a different brand, or maybe like even like a vegan type one, and see if that does it for you. Or even like a lot of them are whey based, so try like a meat based one.
Egg or pea, even.
Yep.
EEA. All right, guys.
Those
Answer
don't
these
taste
questions.
good. Essential amino acids are disgusting.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
taste horrible by themselves.
Yeah.
Or
I would
maybe
not recommend that.
Yeah. Maybe try adding like some fiber with it, like drink the protein shake, but eat like some apple slices with it to add in some fiber to it, or a banana with it, something like that to kind of bulk up a little bit. See if that might slow down things.
That makes it. There's a brand called it. I think it's Muscle Meds, but they make a protein called Carnivore. It's all meat based. I guess I need to try it so I can tell people it's good or not.
There used to be a company that you could customize your protein. Like you could pick the meat, like you could totally dial it in and like you pick your flavorings and stuff. I wish I could remember. I don't even know if it survived, you know. Buddy. I don't know if it survived. But I tried it was like meat and egg and stuff. And I tried to like do my own thing and it was a terrible idea.
You're talking about True Nutrition?
Is that it? Is that the one where they have sliders and you dial the things back and forth?
I'm looking because I know with True Nutrition you could add a bunch of stuff. I just know because he's a trainer that I've used for a really long time, like his methods. So Dante Trudell. Let's see.
Oh, hey, Neil, I can invite you.
Here we go.
Amanda, are you on TikTok?
Yes.
I found out where to go.
Mute your TikTok.
Oh, it is.
Not you. Neil.
Yeah.
Mute your TikTok.
I am. It's been muted.
Or do I mute your TikTok?
I'm muted. My phone's muted. I'm on the phone to get to connect.
Okay.
Just a
Amanda,
minute.
I can't find you. All right. Okay. So we have a YouTube question, a couple of them. My insurance is to finally cover Zepbound for weight loss in July. Concerned they will make me jump through hoops to not get kicked off if I can get it. Makes me think the shortage might be over then, or I hope. That would be awesome. And I'm sure they're going to make you jump through hoops. Unfortunately.
I wouldn't see them kicking you off though. Well, I mean, they can do anything they want.
Well, I was gonna say they won't pay or whatever, you know, or if like they did for you, Amanda. They said because
they won't
anymore.
start
Correct.
So I was on Manjaro and I still haven't made my appointment to go
That's
out.
not starting it. That's fake. They're
I know.
being jerks.
But they won't start me on Zepbound because that's my problem with it. Is you can see it legit. I was on the medicine paid for, picked up at the pharmacy. It wasn't all compounded. And now she said that they won't pay for you to start on Zepbound if your BMI is less than 30. So I don't have a coat that heavy.
Right? Rocks in your pockets.
Ankle weights.
Not promote insurance fraud.
No,
By
no,
the
no,
way,
no.
it's dumb.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Total joke. Total joke. Also, how do I figure out my calorie deficit? So we did that, and how to calculate protein needed. The super easy way to calculate real protein needed is 1 gram per pound of body weight if you can get it in there.
And so most people, like women, it's around 100 grams. Guys, it's gonna be about 150, maybe a little more, but that's where I'd start because that's a good starting place to try to get to, because that usually will take some effort and some planning. There's a question for you. This pup.
Oh,
Oh, hold on, I didn't see it.
It's brand new. Tips for training for a full Ironman on
There you
Ozempic.
go. Okay, from a half, I can tell you, start early. Like 51 weeks before. First of all, start early. What I wish I would have done. This is my story of my life, right? What I wish I would have done. Here, let me coach you because I fucked up. You need to be able to train your gut. I had a really hard time. And when I say half Ironman, I'm talking 8 hours. I'm like Baymax. I am not fast. So you need to train your gut, and I needed to oversalt. So this is something interesting for my peanut gallery here. Guys, I sweat differently now. So like when I look at my shorts, like I was never a heavy sweater before, like not the Christmas kind. And like my shorts were like full of salt. And I was like, that's bizarre. That's never happened to me before. So I don't know if it's a change in metabolism with the GLP-1. I don't know. So when your sodium gets low, you get confused. Well, then you have seizures. So don't do that in that order. Like as soon as I actually asked a friend to go into a restaurant and grab me salt packets. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, the salt packets on the side of like with the silverware, grab me a bunch and bring them to me. And for the next 5 aid stations, I took salt, literally just salt with calories. I did not have enough calories. Absolutely not. So my gut was not trained. I didn't train my gut at all, really. I just didn't. Why? Because this is a story of what not to do. But you've got to make sure your salt, especially if it's going to be warm, you've got to start early training your gut, because you've got to be able to get calories in. I'm assuming you're at maintenance, because if you're losing, that's going to be a real tricky balance, like Courtney said, because if you have to lose, you got to go low on your calories. You can't train your gut when you're going low on your calories. God, okay, I'm answering my own questions here. Sorry, that's my dog jumping up and down. So how do you get your calories up high enough? It's going to have to be dedicated effort. Once your workouts get over 90 minutes, I'm talking to myself here, but thanks for asking. Once your workouts get over 90 minutes, you're going to have to start to train your gut. What are you going to eat on the bike? Real food's probably not going to happen. Shit, real food doesn't happen super well when we're staying still. So what do we do? What kind of slurry do we make? I used to do sugar syrup plus flavor. Is it something like that in a bottle where it's super concentrated? I used to do maple syrup. Chocolate syrup is actually more calorie dense, by the way, and I thought of trying it. Sounds disgusting, but I can't do gels. The consistency is like, oh, it sits right here. I took 2 gels on the bike and I was like, not doing those. Now what? Because I didn't train. I didn't prepare.
Even when they're warm, like they're in your pocket and they're like nice and melty, huh?
Oh my God, Neil. It was like stuck right here. I was like, wow, how the hell am I going to get these calories in? So I did a half Ironman on about 600 calories. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hey, not what I do.
Well, and it's all, even sometimes you and I both know, even training during training with gels or whatever, sometimes on race day, it just, for whatever reason, doesn't, I mean, peanut butter packets, my nut butter packets,
Oh, Lord.
still
Yeah.
can't,
Like nut
still
butter
can't.
still. Oh my God, that would be right here.
It's been 7 years. I still can't eat one. But that's what I trained with, and that's what my fuel plan was. And so, yeah,
Mm.
it would take a lot of work. And I learned the hard way that like what worked for me in training for a little bit shorter periods, I had to change because it caused GI issues if my bike was like, say, over 3 hours. Like it was great for a half, but once I got into training for a full, I had to change from that, whatever we were using, tailwind. No, not tailwind. It was something we were using when we were
Infinite,
doing.
probably infinite.
No, I can do infinite. It was something that we were using when we were less sugar, trying to be like more grain free. I can't remember, but it's been a long time. But it was like a white slurry, and it caused bad GI issues if I had enough
Oh,
of
it's
it for more.
probably oh, I know what it is. But anyway, yeah, don't be running behind me for that. You'll get gassed out, man.
It was bad. I had to like. I remember I did like a. I think we must have done a relay, and I was training for the full, and I was like, "It's too late in my training plan now to change." And Greg was like, "The heck it is! Change. You can't have that on race day. You got to switch this up now." Like,
Yeah.
Mary
Uh,
Bub, we kind of
yeah,
missed,
go ahead.
she was asking the difference between the medications. So Monjuro, Zepbound are both tirzepatide products. They are a GLP-1 and a GIP medication. And then Ozempic, Wegovy, and semaglutide are all basically the same thing. And they're just a GLP-1 medication. So overall, the Monjuro, tirzepatide, Zepbound product is the stronger in all the studies. And that's the new flavor. That's what everybody likes right now.
till we get that triple receptor coming in, then we're gonna love that one. At least I will.
And then Anna, she's gone now. It looks like she had a run, but she was asking how to add cheap protein to the diet. Usually it's the shakes. I think that's usually powder is going to be the cheapest way. The pre-mates are a little bit more expensive, but when you compare to like a meal, it's actually going to be cheaper. If you're like down a $3 shake and that's your meal versus even if you went to like McDonald's or any restaurant, you're going to spend $10.
Yeah.
So
And
if
you're
you
gonna
look at
spend
it that
$10
way,
and overeat.
yeah. And then that it is, I believe it is the one you were talking about. It's True Nutrition. They have 32 different proteins that you can combine and then flavor. And you can even flavor it like mild, strong, like for your chocolate or whatever.
Yeah. Don't do that.
If that's what you want to do.
So that's the one, True Nutrition. Yeah, because they had like
Nutrition.
egg protein, pea protein, like random shit.
There might be others, but that one's been around a long time.
Carolyn lost 55 pounds and starting January 18th to now on Manjaro. Isn't it amazing? It's just amazing. Like today, I was gonna say today I gotta do the math. It's 47. I can't do math. 46 or so since when I started. Do you know why someone would be losing more on a one receptor med versus triple receptor? I think Courtney's a good example of that. Courtney was on Manjaro forever.
Yeah.
And then had to switch to, oh, nice. Good job, Mike.
Wow.
To switch to Wegovy or semaglutide, because of insurance and shit. I'm definitely swearing now. And it works great for you.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I was a very slow responder to Mounjaro. Took me quite some time to quell some of the food noise and to notice much of an appetite suppression. Then there was my whole brain thing where I just had to get used to eating a lower dose. But I could pretty much always eat a meal on Mounjaro. I hardly ever had a side effect. Very, very rarely. Only if I stretched my dose out too far because I forgot what shot day was. But semaglutide, like almost immediately, I had side effects and total food apathy most days of the week. And the pounds that were just kind of laying stagnant after some holiday time and summer vacations and that kind of stuff, those stagnant pounds were gone within like the first 3 weeks of being on semaglutide. I don't know why. In studies, tirzepatide is better. My dad had the same experience. He liked semaglutide better. I don't know why, but yeah.
Dog. So I just did a Google search on the drinks, what liquids have the most calories. And no, we are not, this is a joke. Okay. Fair warning. But pina coladas, White Russians, and Mai Tais are up there. So we could train with that for Ironman, except it'd be it'd be a real short day actually, because you'd run your ass right into the road, like right off the side of the road.
Pretty
But I
please,
thought it was funny.
pretty please bling is on Retatrutide.
Oh, I'm dying to know.
Are you in the study? Pretty please.
Bling.
Pretty please. That's awesome. 75 pounds, can't find Manjaro anywhere. Yeah, nobody can, neither can anybody else. It's on shortage except for the 2.5. My coffee cup's empty. That's a shame.
I talked to somebody in Fort Worth yesterday as a patient. And she's like, I'm not having any problems. They have all the doses.
What? No, I'm not. You're seeing a doctor for it. It's not FDA approved yet.
Yeah.
So is your doctor supplying the medication? Because if they're supplying it, they're getting the peptide black market.
From Bob's.
We don't even know of any pharmacies that have it yet, right?
Not legit.
He explained
Yeah,
it's
because it's
FDA
not
approved. So he's
not FDA
actually
approved.
so this doctor is actually giving out
Okay.
Bob peptides and reconstituting and being a dispensing pharmacy in his own office, which is a big fat risk we're not going to take.
Yeah, no.
How is the Retatrutide though? So now that we've established that fact, how's it going? I want to know.
She said earlier that appetite suppression was through the roof
I
and,
bet.
but not, I think she said she's not losing that much.
Oh, that's awesome.
She said lost better on semaglutide.
Well,
So interesting.
Okay, that's super interesting. There's nothing over the counter. Berberine isn't not it. There's nothing over the counter that does what these drugs do. If it did, we wouldn't be in this situation, really. You know, if we could take an Amazon supplement, wouldn't that be freaking amazing? Be like, hey, look, my life is fantastic. Nope, it takes fucking work and a lot of money.
There's people fishing though. I keep getting this Facebook ad for some natural GLP-1 booster.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I'm like, well, the half-life of the natural GLP-1, and I actually commented on one of those that popped up on my Facebook. I said, well, the natural half-life of GLP-1 is less than a minute. So how often do I have to take this drug if it's less than a minute? They didn't answer. But I thought it was funny as shit. If you have a lot to lose. So switch to Retatrutide. Did he optimize you first on tirzepatide?
Semaglutide.
Huh?
semaglutide.
She was on Sema.
Glutide. Oh, we didn't even try tirzepatide. We just
Went to red.
went to the
But-
one that's not FDA.
But was losing on semaglutide.
So why don't we maximize semaglutide? Rock that shit. Let it go. It's cheap. Retatrutide black market's probably cheap too. I don't know. I don't look. It's not FDA approved. I don't let myself go there.
Because they bought a
They're
I'm
expensive.
temptation. I'm not doing I can't do stupid shit.
I want to say
because they
when,
bought a bunch of Retatrutide and they needed to use.
when they pop up, I've like clicked on them before. The semaglutide is not too bad. Like if you're starting out or lower doses, tirzepatide, once you get to the high doses, it's crazy. It's expensive.
The
But you
Retatrutide.
don't have to see a doctor for it. So, I mean,
There's that. Saves you the $89 if you're with AMS. Saves you $89, but you're trusting Bob to reconstitute your peptides. Sorry. I feel so bad because I love Bob from Top Gun.
You know, my dad's name was Bob.
We love Bob. Does Bob sell
Well,
peptides?
I keep saying we need to say Frank's peptide.
That's my grandpa.
We like Bob. We just don't like his peptides.
There we go. We love Bob. Just don't give me that don't give me that white zone shit. Sorry.
pretty pleased the same because I have over 200 pounds to lose. There was someone up above who has lost 250 pounds on Monjuro.
There's Triple Dad. He's down 350, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's down 350. I think he's on here. I think he changed his name though. Because he went from 715. Good protein shake for someone's diabetic and lactose intolerant. You could do Seek, SEEQ. Those are the clear ones. I also have PCOS, makes it hard to lose. Absolutely. Amanda, chime in there. I gotta get a drink. Amanda's,
Sorry, I muted because we had invaders. TikTok can't see the invaders.
TikTok cannot see, but Amanda duplicated herself here. She got to look. So, but Amanda was recalcitrant to say the least. She
Well,
did not.
have PCOS. It took me a little while for it to kick in, just like a diabetic. But once it did, it's started coming off. So, I mean, I think it's like we talk about that metabolic restructuring, that definitely happens on these. But yeah, PCOS makes it very difficult, and I get frustrated, especially when I am around MDs who say it doesn't need treatment. Mama, because it definitely does. So, Mom.
We lost her leader. So Becky C saying uncompounded tirzepatide loss 12 and a half. I'm assuming last month, and I assume this is optimal. So there's not like, I guess, an optimal amount to lose each month. It's kind of very individualized. It's more of like, for our patients, is your appetite suppressed? Are your side effects controlled? And then, yes, are you losing? If you're not having appetite control for like all 7 days and you want that, usually that means it's time to go up. If 12.5 is keeping you appetite controlled all week, you're losing weight, you feel good, you're not having side effects, I would say that's optimized.
Yeah, I mean, some weeks toward the end or like in the middle with stalls. That's another thing we should probably address is stalls. Like I lost 15 pounds the first month because I was eating like an idiot. Like I couldn't, this was my whole issue is I could not stop eating. Like I could not stop. Right. And if you tell me, well, here's my favorite. Okay. Let's get on the soapbox while we're here. Well, I just stopped. I ate less and moved more, and I worked out at the gym, and I got a personal trainer. I know how to fucking work out. Okay. I get this. I know more about nutrition than everyone in this room, period. End of story. Doesn't matter if you can't. Okay. Maybe not Neil. But the whole point is if you can't do it, it doesn't matter. My brain's a jerk. So anyhow, I needed help. And I don't care out there if you're like, well, I'm going to do it the natural way. I love those patients who leave us and like, I'm going to do it the natural way. Like Neil says, like it's not cheating. Are you wearing shoes? Because that might be cheating.
Well, and I also think if it's your first or second time and you haven't done a ton of damage to your brain, your gut, your metabolic system, whatever. I mean, my 18-year-old's a great example. It's the first time she's ever tried to lose weight in her life. And she did some research because that's just who she is. And she really toned in her diet and focused on her protein. And she was working out. She's working out consistently. She's a routine type person. She measures her protein, she meal preps, and she lost the weight. And I hope she never has to struggle like I did. But if she does, she knows there's another tool to use. And she's not ashamed of it if she needs it later in life. But right now, she's rocking that metabolism of an 18-year-old and getting in some great protein while she's at it.
Nice. She's still got like 12 more years of muscle building. That's amazing. I love this person's name on TikTok. I love you sometimes. They must be married. Well, I always love him. It's the liking part. You know what? It's the way it is. Hold on. I got to scroll because I'm missing a bunch of shit here.
Yeah. Becky C was the one that asked about being optimized, lost 12 and a half in a month. She is getting hungry by day 5. So typically my patients, if they're hungry by day 5 and they want more appetite control, we go up. If you're happy with the results and you're like, no, 5 days is good for me. I like to be able to like refuel a little bit on day 6, maybe day 7. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. If you lost 12 and a half in a month, they may need day 6 and 7 as refuel.
Yeah.
But think about this too. If you planned your shot day around your long workouts, right? Because my plan is to switch to do long rides on Monday or Friday. It just can't be Tuesday. Well, with my schedule, it can't be Tuesday, Wednesday anyway, but it could not be Tuesday, Wednesday with Monday as a shot day.
No.
It could be Monday. I could squeak it in on Monday and get it in probably. But again, it's tailoring your goals to your goals, right? Like,
Also,
definitely talk to your doctor for sure. Cause you're going to rock this. Just don't give up, please.
Mixed in there, we got Angela who said she had gastric bypass surgery 19 years ago. I've gained almost all the way back. I can't lose. we have multiple patients who have been successful on these medicines after gastric bypass being unsuccessful.
It's technically not unsuccessful if that doesn't scare you. Because
Well,
if you keep whatever success is considered as what, 10% of the weight you needed to lose off for 5 years. That's the worst success benchmark ever, in my opinion. Like, oh, you need to be barely adequate and we'll call that a success. Sorry, opinions are like assholes. We know them. We all got them. And I'm super opinionated today, so I'm sorry. Not really. Yeah, these medications, because these medications do things. It's not like an it's not just an appetite suppressant. Well, then I think did I miss Angela's first comment?
yeah, so then her second comment
that was it.
is backing can't lose it. Would one of these work out, or is there a revision surgery? Well, I would say I'd rather take a weekly shot than another surgery. That's me. And we have people who have had 2 bypass surgeries and still had to come to this medicine. So, and it works better than both of their surgeries. So I would give it
yeah,
literally give it a shot first.
Literally give it a shot first. See how it goes. Yeah, and not medical advice, of course, because and that's
right. Just a check.
It's because, the revision surgery is always an option. Not always an option, right? I don't know your cardiac status. I don't know anything. I don't know if the risk status. Now, when I say I don't know your cardiac status, that's not for getting on the meds. That's for undergoing general anesthesia and a really like a big deal surgery. Should I go up to 5 or titrate up slowly? Lost 0.5 last week, pound the week before, on 2.5 now.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that weight loss. That's only 2 weeks worth of data there. But it depends on how you're feeling, how your appetite, and ultimately what is your goal. That's an okay weight loss for those 2 weeks. And if it continues at that level, stay at the cheaper chicken. But
I agree.
The Gardeners, I'm on semaglutide since December, lost 25 pounds, feel like I'm stalled now. Should I switch to Mounjaro? Kind of depends, what dose you're on. Like, is it optimized? The weight loss doses are 1.7 and 2.4. 5, we'll call that 5 months. 5 months and 25 pounds is not bad. Over the whole course of the year, we're looking at 50 pounds. With our patients, we kind of, try to optimize everything else that they're doing, protein intake, sleep, exercise, hydration, and then kind of make a decision whether it's worth switching medications.
Maintenance for over a year. Now I'm 5 MJ, cravings back and weight going up. Yeah, we've talked, Dr. Mo's done a lot of videos on maintenance is messy. Yeah, I was on maintenance for a long time, gained some weight on vacation and over the holidays. Dr. Mo has to go up from 5 occasionally to 7.5, or I guess she tried a little bit higher. Yeah, maintenance is messy. Sometimes you do have to up your dose a little bit, even in maintenance. And that's not saying forever. You might be able to come back down. But sometimes even in maintenance, we do find you have to go up a little bit.
And even if you're on brand name, that does not exempt you from sometimes having to go up. We talked about this. We talk about it all the time, but in our patient line, I don't know, we talked about it somewhere that, recently the medications are what they are. Like, that's the chemical that's in the compound that you inject in your body. Our bodies are dynamic. Some weeks you sleep less, some weeks you're stressed out, some weeks are hormonal, right? Depending if you're, female, or males do have cycles as well. Cranky pants. And so but our bodies are very dynamic. And whatever food you happen to be eating, is it the holidays? What is Bob? Oh, Bob is our bullshit thing. I know. So this is what we do. It's just over the year, we've just become a colleague. So there are peptide companies, usually back in the day, Neil, they would be reserved for bodybuilders that would go and buy peptides, not from a doctor. So we always just joke that it's like Bob's Peptide, some random guy selling puppies on the side of the road, you know? That's a Texas thing, by the way. I've never seen that before I came here, but whatever. Maybe Bob's got peptides with the puppies. I don't know.
Yeah, we just don't know the quality of them. Like, are they tested? They might test one batch and then they get other batches and they don't test them. With at least compound pharmacies that we use, they test their batches. So we know we're at least getting legitimate product. What product they're getting with, unknown products, we don't know.
Yeah. If my doctor's getting it, do you think it's reputable? He has a clinic now. I'm worried.
We don't know him.
You want to throw your doctor's name on there? I can Google. Sorry. I won't put him under the bus. Or you can send me a message. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Actually,
we don't.
Send me a, I can't get it right now on TikTok though to go look.
Yeah.
But
we don't know. Like, we don't know because it's not FDA approved. So wherever they're getting it from is getting it from a source that has no FDA regulations at this point yet. So there's no way to know.
You don't even know if Retatrutide's safe yet.
So yeah, that's what I would say is we would not use that drug, and I have trouble calling it a medication or drug because we don't know where they're getting
Well, it's a
it.
chemical. It's actually not even technically a drug yet. It's a chemical.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Right.
still
So
in
we
trial,
would-
so it's not even a drug.
We do not know of a safe way to obtain that.
And your doctor, so here's the thing though, your doctor has a different opinion. Remember when I said opinions are like assholes? I'm the biggest opinion out there right now. I'm getting a little spicy today. Sorry. But your doctor has a different opinion. Your doctor feels that the results on Retatrutide are worth the risk. I just don't feel that way. And that's my opinion. And that's my prerogative as a provider, say that 3 times fast, that I do what I feel is safe for my patients. Some physicians will not prescribe compounded at all, even though they come from a 503B compounded pharmacy. I'm okay with that. Like, it's not their practice. So he just has a different risk benefit. I know now I'll tell you what I would think about his opinion, judging that that's his opinion. I know how important these drugs are to my well-being and the well-being of my patients. If Retatrutide from Bob's, so here's a hypothetical for all my peanut gallery out there. If I could get Retatrutide from Bob's or a Retatrutide like compound from Bob's and nothing else, what would I recommend? I personally wouldn't do it because I'm chicken and I need that FDA full trials done.
Yeah.
Which would suck. So
Yeah,
anyway.
there's just been too many medications that in like their last week of trial studies, something gets yanked and something happens and, or medications that have been on the market for a really long time and then something happens. The good news is with GLP-1s in general, they've been around a long time and we know a lot of long-term data, but yeah, I'm a weenie. I need some FDA approval.
For me, nothing. I would pick nothing. Yeah, me too. Thank God we don't have to, right?
Yeah. Thank
Coming out
goodness.
and keep, how about Amgen? Guys, everyone there with me? Amgen's rocking it. Did you guys read this thing?
Mm-mm.
Oh, let me tell you. Hold on. Somebody look up the school. Oh, okay. Oh, Ozempic approved by Kaiser.
Wow.
Somebody up
Wow.
there. No shit, huh?
This one's-
Tirzepatide depending on state. So go on that one real quick.
Goodyear Freckles, I think the second time she's asked, was off Monjuro for 4 weeks because of shortages. Where to go? Put on 10 pounds of fluids in 4 days. Think because of no Monjuro. I mean, if you're eating a little more, you're going to be putting on fluid. When I stopped semaglutide, I expected it because I was eating very low carb that I would put on weight. And I think like 4 or 5 pounds like that first week. But, it was just my muscles filling up. It was not fat because I was still not eating as much. And it was just fluid following those carbohydrates into the muscle.
So Amgen put out a stock raiser announcement that they're developing Maritide. Thank God. It's actually a very nice name too. Maritide, that is a monthly injection with better results. I'm like, let it roll, man. If I only have to poke myself once a month.
Scary thing is that though, if you have side effects, how long do you have them for?
I know. It's a
Oh.
month.
Too much tirzepatide might be 3 or 4 days.
Parade, but legit.
Right? I would hope they start really low in the dose. Because if
You
you have side effects, that shit gets ugly.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing. If your dose isn't effective for you, like how long does it take? If it's a once monthly, like how long is it going to take to get to your optimal dose? Like,
Yep. It's a good point. All right, I was all excited. Leave me alone.
could be good though.
more events in the mixed, more competition. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so tirzepatide, I'm gonna screw it up again as usual. Tirzepatide, you can get it lowest dose for us, depending on your state, is $200 a month. Yeah, roughly 200 for the lowest state, depending on 150 for semaglutide, 200 for tirzepatide. I don't know why I can't fucking remember that. They're easy. Sorry for my language. They're super easy numbers. Like, why can't I remember that?
Because they change frequently.
They kind of don't, though. It's totally me. It's totally like I just don't think it's important enough to plunk it in there. Pretty much because I pay $5.50 if I had to. A lot of good stories on people with PCOS. Speaking of which, if you are, this is not medical advice, but please back up your oral contraceptives or use a different method because we have quite a few PCOS babies.
Mhm.
My husband has
Arizona is asking, because of delayed gastric emptying, is there a concern that meds taken will be absorbed slowly? It can alter how medications are absorbed. One being birth control pills, the other being like antidepressants, blood pressure medications. So they recommend like kind of watching that. So like with antidepressants, like if you get more depressed, see your doctor. If your blood pressure is not as well controlled, same thing, they might need to be adjusted. We haven't seen a ton of that, but other than the babies, but it is possible.
When she said her husband had a kidney transplant, I recently talked to our pharmacist about transplant meds in specific to GLP-1s, and he and I both agreed that although we have not seen even very sensitive medications or medications with a very narrow therapeutic window, we have not really seen any alterations or needing doses to be altered. That those in particular, because they can be so sensitive, I would have definite, very close follow-up with transplant doctors monitoring levels probably even more closely than normal. That's what we would advise any of our patients that were on those sensitive medications.
Yeah, I mean, just follow the levels, kind of like anything else, right? If you're a diabetic and you get gastroparesis, how come we don't talk about that with delayed gastric emptying and taking your meds? Like, we don't talk about it, but we should, because if you have any condition where you have delayed or accelerated gastric emptying, we don't ever tell people to watch that way, but these drugs come out and everyone loses their minds.
Yeah.
And he's got gastroparesis too. If he's got gastroparesis, so okay, this is a twofold question. Number one, is it worse on Ozempic? And number two, well, I think it's amazing if not. I guess there's really not a number two.
Yeah.
Because they both slow your transit time. But I wonder if you have gastroparesis, if it actually doesn't even make it any worse.
It may not.
Because it controls the diabetes, therefore, life is better. I know this question's come up. Oh, keep going. No, we're good. Difference between compound and Zepbound. Compound medications take the base chemical of a drug and combine it with something else, compound it. If the medication is in shortage, if you need a different flavor, like if you're a kid, if you want to mitigate side effects and or avoid patent infringement. Really, that's the reason. It's caused constipation. That's amazing. I mean, not amazing, but like, so it literally fixed the gastroparesis. Your husband needs to go on the news and say, Ozempic fixed my gastroparesis.
Right.
Do they work just the same? In my experience, right? This is because, well, okay, and the experience of the vast majority of my patients. Yes, they really work the same. There are some weeks when brand name Manjaro doesn't work worth a damn. And there are some weeks where 5 is way too much and I want to throw up my spleen. For me, it's the same, except for Link Pharmacy burns like a son of a bitch. Like, I'm sorry. I did it again yesterday. I thought I was going to die. I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't know if it's worth the money. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I literally, I had to pause and breathe through it. I'm like, is there lidocaine in here? Like, what is the problem? Like, it hurts so friggin' bad.
Hmm.
I'm like, it makes me not nervous. It just, I'm like, why? So my dad has it. So he's going to be my next guinea pig. I might email them and say, can you do something about this? Cause it really, really hurts. Like I can handle some pain.
Or figure out why it's hurting so bad, because I don't hear, because they mix theirs with L-carnitine, and I have not heard patients that I prescribed L-carnitine to complain that it hurts. It is possible they just don't care. They're like, whatever, I want my L-carnitine.
Or is it something in their pH? Or I mean, who knows?
Right. I mean, it could be me for damn sure. It's kind of too cheap to not do it though.
Yeah.
Do you up your dose when you stall on weight or just once a month? We do not protocolize care. So I was on 2.5 for 3.5 months. It depends how long you stall. It depends why you stall. Is it food noise? Is it just time to go up? Because I can kind of tell when things are not, I can't make good decisions. I have a drug that helps me make good decisions. Isn't that the most amazing thing ever? Wish I would have had that drug in college.
Yeah.
I have a knot on my belly from it. Okay, that's bizarre. Hold on. Please hold. I'm gonna poke around a minute. I have a bruise from last week, but that was the regular Manjaro pen. No, okay. Because it should be absorbed pretty quickly. Hold on, somebody needs help.
It's possible that, you hit a little blood vessel and you have a little bit of blood right there. That is a possibility why you have that little knot.
I need help, please. If you need help, like you're going to kill yourself, please call 911. If it's emergent, please call 911. If it is non-emergent and just a question, please ask your question. Has anyone experienced vision changes? So that can happen. It's listed in the pamphlet for Zepbound and tirzepatide and semaglutide, because if you are diabetic, especially, it will change the way your body processes sugar. Thanks for the follow, guys. Oh, likes, follows, go to amstelehealth.com if you want to be a patient. But it is a known side effect that it can temporarily worsen your vision, especially if you are in a diabetic state. Yeah, don't say please and be vague about it. If you got a problem, say your problem. Don't be annoying. Thanks for the follows, guys.
Yeah.
Whoa, vitamin D is at 8. Fuck yeah, this is a problem. Start taking vitamin D. Try some calcium too, because I'm sure if you get a bone density, it ain't going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Not medical advice. Tums and vitamin D. Jesus, dog. Squirrel. We have a squirrel. We have a squirrel. And a bee. Yeah, 8. And a lot of us are very low. A lot of us are very low. I take 200 international units of vitamin D now 3 times a week. I took it 5 times a week for a long, long time. Just Amazon. And mine is at 93. I finally got it optimized after like 5 years of taking it.
You just have to keep checking it, because that's a big dose, and after a while it cause problems if it gets too high.
Correct. That's because yeah, it's a fat soluble vitamin, so you can overdose and it is detrimental and can kill you. So don't yeah, that's why it's not a so they have you on the 50,000 units a week that costs $1 million too. Jesus Christ, people. Not you. Not you. Whatever. I'm sure it's got fantastic absorption. Take 3,000 and still way low on vitamin D. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's hard to absorb. 50K a week for 3 months. Yeah. So there's prescription vitamin D. That's a weekly. I just buy the cheapy Amazon. It's like $15 for a year.
There's also
my insurance. I still pay $15 for a year.
Yeah, I take the cheapie and it was fine, but it wasn't raising my vitamin D level quite enough. There's some studies out about vitamin D with K2, and you can get that on Amazon as well, but that it is absorbed better. I took that and now can decrease my dose to like 3 times a week, and my vitamin D level stays good. I don't know all the science behind it. Neil probably knows a lot better, but I did read some of the studies about taking it with the K2 added if you're having trouble absorbing it.
Yes, and thank you for saying that because somebody asked me on TikTok and I said I'd address it on the live about vitamin D and K2. So I'm super glad you said that because I forgot. Hubby on Zepbound, horrible acid reflux. Any suggestion? Yes. Smaller meals, way less frequently. He's eating too much.
Or the wrong foods.
Or the wrong foods.
Yeah, sometimes it's red meat that people can't handle or cruciferous vegetables.
Yes, and I still get shit because I can't eat cruciferous vegetables, so now Neil picks on me for using the word. I need a prescription to move to a sunny environment. I will write that happily. Although Texas, we'll get you to Florida. We'll get you to Florida if I can pick, right? It was a salad, so probably that. Oh God. In the beginning, I'm telling you, like this much. I just ate a huge bowl of fruit. Okay, huge. Like things have changed, right? Things have changed. This is now a huge bowl. So, but I ate a huge bowl of fruit and I won't have a problem. However, San Diego will work.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, okay, so hold on. I can't do raw meat or raw veggies. Yeah, raw veggies will rip me up. There's no way.
Yeah.
Very seldom I can do a salad. It's okay. Hold on. I didn't see Faraz's other kit. I just saw a period. I didn't see the actual comment. Can you guys see it?
No,
Well,
I saw period.
Okay.
Suffer from anxiety and stress. Well, nice job if you don't, but you seem pretty damn stressed out in the comments.
Yeah. But do you have a question we can answer?
Thanks for coming, guys. Give me likes, and we like the likes.
Yeah. And like
yeah,
and follow Neil and myself.
Oh yeah, follow Neil. Okay, so everyone, Neil is up there. Courtney is up there. Amanda, I don't know. I can't find you in my list. So Amanda, put your name in the chat so people can follow you.
Rejoining, it says a Luby when I join. Because I keep trying to scroll and it goes to the next video.
But I'm trying to look, but I can't see you in my list of people who are. I'm trying to go live with guests and I can't. You're not on the list, so you're not here, and I don't know why. So anyway, put your name in there so you can follow, and then it may not even let you go live until you hit some. Okay. Is there something wrong? I don't know, Faraz. There might be, but it's with you, not us.
But if you need help, Faraz, we're happy to try to help.
Want to ask questions? Come on, ask a question. If you're just on here trolling, I'm gonna ignore you, which is fine. I mean, that's fine too. You do to your paw.
Don's asking what your recommendation on protein intake to avoid muscle loss. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
He's on the table.
Don, typically for our female patients, we aim for about 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So we just, typically at first about 100 grams of protein per day, as long as there's no other issues with you eating that much, like kidney issues. And that's a great start to get to. It typically takes some time to learn how to get to that point. But that's what we first recommend.
So somebody asked about Wellbutrin as well, and low dose naltrexone, which is Contrave if you put them together. So it's sort of, this is kind of I'm going to lump these all up into one answer, hopefully. That there are no true contraindications with medications with these drugs, like with the GLP-1s. Birth control becomes ineffective. I'm just laughing. Sorry. I'm on Wellbutrin. I should read these out loud because later on the YouTube, they won't see what I'm laughing at. Yeah, I'm on Wellbutrin and Ozempic. I did Contrave with it and lost Jack. Like, yep. Who's Jack? Just kidding. He lives with Bob. Oh, hi, Julie. She was on the left. 160 grams a day. That's impressive. How do you eat like that? Yeah. All right, if you're on 160 grams a day.
I think she's doing carnivore though, so that's all she's eating is meat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was my.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm back. Nice. Hi, Julie.
Nikki,
same with me. I love my Contrave. I didn't like it.
Yeah, we have lots of patients on tirzepatide and low dose naltrexone as a little additive to kind of help either at night to kind of help with cravings the next day.
Yeah, migraines are going to be no go. If Contrave gave you not migraines, that's a
Yeah.
hell no for me. That's you got to be functional, right? Like that's the whole thing. The whole thing is these drugs make you feel better. And if it doesn't, we need to optimize the sleep, the stress, the hydration, the protein, and the movement. And if once we do that, optimize your dose. Dose is in the middle, right? Here's the medication. You have to optimize all those other things to make that work better.
Let's see, Dawn. Yes, protein powder will work. Premixed protein shakes. I think everybody I don't have one, but Dr. Gibbons has one. Core Power. You know, they're relatively.
I don't want to throw it
they're
out.
about 3 to 4%. Oh, you know, they're 26 to 42 grams of protein. That helps you bump up really quick for the day.
So
Sarah,
to the you on YouTube, Faraz wants to know that he's 33 without anxiety. Is there something wrong with me? So let me give you a news flash. You do have anxiety because you're worrying if there's nothing wrong with you because you don't have anxiety. Go see a doctor. Be thankful, right? Don't stress out. Just do your thing. Be a success. Go rock the world, you know, do a whole bunch of fun shit.
so over on YouTube, I guess there's comments on YouTube. I haven't been clicking over.
Hold on. Y'all need to be asking everyone to tap the screen like crazy to give me likes. Okay, tap the screen.
Please,
Happy
guys,
y'all.
keep
Thanks,
tapping the screen.
So debunit, how do I figure out my calorie deficit? Also, how do I calculate my protein need? So females, it's about 100 grams. Males, it's about 150 is typically where we start. Calorie deficit, you can kind of Google like a calorie calculator or BMI calculator. It uses the Harris-Benedict formula. And it'll kind of, you put it'll give you like a number and then kind of based it on how active you are. And that'll give you your calories for the day. And then to lose a pound a week, you need to subtract 500 calories from that. To lose 2 pounds a week, you basically subtract 1,000 each day. And then, so you use that for a little while. And if it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, like you're not losing weight, it's because your calories are too high. You overestimated it and you need to drop it a little bit more. I would typically drop it about 250 calories each time. And then kind of like reevaluate after a couple of weeks. Protein wise, if you're getting in your protein, you're on one of these medications, that typically takes care of a lot of your, your calories. Like that's all you're going to get in because you can't. So if you hit that, like a guy hits it 150, 200 grams of protein, he's not getting in vegetables. He's not getting in a bunch of fats because it's hard.
Yep. Mom said on a good day, she eats 800 calories. And that's kind of how it was in the beginning for me when when I was a new exposure to GLP-1s, that tirzepatide, like it, and when I had that much weight to lose, my body was like, oh, wow, we're going to relax and just let this thing happen, which was great. Smoothies are a good idea too. Yep. Except the problem with smoothies for me, I can't, because I used to do spinach mango smoothies. It's the volume. I could probably do it now. But I'm lazy. I would rather drink a 42 and have a bowl of fruit because it's a whole lot easier for me than the smoothie. I know, I hear you. It's like the epitome of laziness.
So I see some comments about carbs. Like carbs are not the devil. You can have your carbs. Just like on one of the meds though, we're trying to lose weight. Like I would focus on the protein so you actually get your protein in. Because if you focus on carbs first, eat your baked potato, you don't have room for the chicken anymore.
That's a lot. Yeah, the TDEE calculator is usually, one of them is Harris-Benedict, usually in the formulas. That's usually the one.
That's the main one.
Yep. For sure. So yes, like the live, amstelehealth.com. If you want to be a patient, follow Courtney, Neil, and Amanda, A. Luby. Is it just A. Luby, Amanda?
I think so. That's all I see.
Probably not. Click on your profile.
Okay.
Elena, yes, subtract about 500 calories from your maintenance, and that will lose a pound a week or so. There's still somewhat estimates, so that's why you start there, see how you do, and then you play with it.
Yeah, so when you're listed in an 800 calorie deficit, that's what they sort of expected. So you know, that's kind of where you start, like Neil said. That's where you would expect to be. But if you're me, lo and behold, what you think is going to be an 800 calorie deficit is like a 200 calorie deficit that I fuck up on the weekend.
I'm AMS Luby.
There you go. Okay.
There we go.
See?
Best injection
Best
site for
injection.
appetite suppression. Whichever one works best on you. I'd experiment. Try the belly. If that doesn't, you can try the top of the leg or the back of the arm. I think Dr. Mo did the back of the arm and had side effects and no appetite control. So everybody's a little different. So I'd play with it. I think it's worth experimenting to see if you get better relief.
Absolutely.
Alan,
if
are
a
you
site
our
is-
patient? Because this is a big concern. Can you help me out with low blood sugar and blood pressure on these meds? It's not the meds, it's the amount of food and fluids you're taking in.
Yeah.
So unless you're on insulin, then we missed something and that's a bad idea. But he said, Neil, will you help? Because Neil's a dude, so he's a doctor around these parts. So so yeah, everyone is different. Yeah, I've been doing belly ever since I started. Except
And
for
then,
the one-
yeah, if you think your blood sugar is low, unless you've checked it, it's hard to say if it's definitively low or you feel a little sluggish because when you're on the meds, sometimes people do get fatigued a little bit because they're not used to having that somewhat stable or normal level of blood sugar. If a couple apple slices fix it, it's possible it's a little low, but when you feel that way, I would just grab a cheap glucometer off of like Amazon, check it and see where you're at. Blood pressure wise, was it blood pressure? But I mean, theoretically, your blood pressure should lower as you're losing weight.
You're totally fine, Alan. I was just being a jerk.
But no, they don't actively lower your glucose like an insulin does, and they don't actively lower your blood pressure like a blood pressure medicine does. As your intake decreases, your blood sugar may decrease, and as your weight decreases, your blood pressure may decrease. But these GLP-1s do not actively act on either of those things as their target.
And if you're on these medicines, I would probably increase my salt intake. Like someone suggested this liquid IV. You're not eating the same foods you were or the amounts, so you're not getting your electrolytes and from your food. So you got to take them in some way, which is why we typically like at least one electrolyte drink a day. Some are low sodium. So like you like Gibbons like Body Armor Light. I add sodium to mine. I add some Celtic sea salt to mine. And even before I work out, I take 2 to 3 grams of salt. And my blood pressure is fine. So, I mean, if you have a salt sensitive blood pressure, I'd kind of limit that, but it sounds like you might just need a little bit more salt in your diet.
And if you're prone to hypoglycemia, you're going to need to eat frequently and make sure you get your protein in because that'll help stabilize the blood sugar crashes along with some fats, right? Peanut butter. I always think peanut butter because you've got a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat in with other things. I'm totally having avocado toast when I'm done with this. Sorry, that's my random thought. Like I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alana, I've had issues with hypoglycemia in the past before. Like it'll just drop, but I know things that cause mine. Like if I eat something sugar, like if I eat Skittles, I know in a little bit of time I'm gonna have a low blood sugar episode, and I feel like crap when it drops into the 50s because I did buy a glucometer to kind of see, am I feeling this? Is it real? And
It was real.
it was. So I just kind of limit and watch what I'm doing with those things.
Shoot, where was the question I was going to answer? I always struggle with this, but like I had a bad episode last night. Yeah, you gotta, you're gonna have to dial it in if you're real sensitive to that. Oh, Saxenda, how is it different than Ozempic? It doesn't work as well for weight loss in the studies, but there is still good for weight loss. It is a daily injection, and it is also going to be generic ideally soon.
This summer is what it's supposed to be.
Well, it was supposed to be before.
We'll see.
It's be last year.
And Vanessa, I cut out all salt because I retain water, but when I take electrolyte pills, I retain it. Yep, that sounds about right. But that's okay. It's just water weight, so I would not be concerned about on the scale with that. So like if you were not eating
With
it,
different types of heart failure, and that's a
Yes.
different story.
totally. But for a normal healthy person, that's fine.
Which daily med are we talking about? We are actually talking, somebody asked about Saxenda, which is liraglutide weight loss approval name. Same as
Trulicity?
Victoza.
Trulicity.
Victoza?
Oh.
We don't use those ones that often because
I don't know. Hold on a
No,
minute.
yeah.
We don't use them very often because they're daily and nobody wants to poke themselves daily. Unless you're diabetic and
some
you
people
got
don't want to do it once a week.
That'd be me. Liraglutide brand name. Victoza and Saxenda. What's Trulicity? Hold on.
Trulicity
Yeah.
is dulaglutide
Dulaglutide.
Ah,
or whatever
yeah, don't use it often enough.
or ever.
Great.
Yeah. Rarely.
Not generic, you know? So if it's not generic, like,
Is it true the first 10 to 50 pounds you lose is water weight? Not the first 10 to 15, maybe the first like 4 to 5, like that first week might be some water because you're not getting those carbohydrates, which every gram of carbohydrate pulls in, I think, 3 grams of water. So there's a lot of water at first, but yeah, a lot of it's fat at first.
yeah, like you lose 15 pounds, it ain't water. Because especially if you're hydrating well with an electrolyte drink,
Yeah.
it's not going to be a whole lot of water. These medications actually cause your body to burn fat, which is
Yeah.
freaking amazing.
But at the end of the day, like, don't worry about that first, the beginning. Like, this is a long-term thing. This isn't
Yeah.
like, so I can go to a wedding next month. It's a long-term thing. So eventually your body will stabilize with that water intake, and you'll be able to tell it's like mostly fat versus I lost a bunch of water.
Yeah. Fasting with GLP-1s. I tend to fast 12 to 13 hours a day, which sounds like that's not even fasting, but it is. We all fast, right? We all go to bed, or ideally, I guess. Because that's one of our pillars is adequate sleep. So you should be fasting for 7 hours a day. But anyhow, I fast for 12 to 13 hours a day, mostly because I want more than half of my life not to be run by food. As far as like alternate day fasts or things like that, prolonged fasting, there's no magic to it. There's no magic science. It does help people reduce their calorie intake, but these medications do it anyway. So less stress is more. Yeah. In the inflammation. Yeah, for sure. That'll make you flunk out a bunch. Oh yeah. Second dose of 10 having side effects, or if it's a stomach virus. Yeah, totally valid.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, you kind of treat the symptoms and hydrate.
Yep.
That's where I would go.
And I
Not-
think
Nausea, diarrhea, hydrating. So kudos to be able to get fluid in from the top.
stomach bugs and a little bit of off food and stuff, they're all worse on these. Like it just kind of makes them worse. Because Chris kept getting GI bugs from all the petri dishes and it would make it worse.
Yeah.
Last a little longer.
I fast around 17 hours a day. Is that a good fast? It depends how you feel. Are you able to do things well? Are you able to get some good nutrition in, get your protein in? Is it good for you? Some days I fast 17 hours just because I forgot to eat. But I need to be more habit driven and not do that as well.
And I think it depends on how messy the brain is. When I did intermittent fasting, which sometimes worked to keep me in a caloric deficit, it also flipped that switch in my brain that allowed me to binge without gaining weight because I could just wait and then just that abundance factor, I could pile everything in and hit that switch in my brain. It did not go well for those issues.
I mean, I'm a volume addict, so if I fast, I can pile all my food on later. It's a bad trigger for me. I don't.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
not
for me.
saying I don't do it. I'm saying I forget to eat conveniently.
Do side effects occur immediately or when titrating up? Both. Everybody's
Both.
different and what depends on the med. Tirzepatide, usually it's a day or two before you really start to have side effects because it's a little bit slower acting. Semaglutide, I mean, I felt that within the hour, like my appetite was gone. And then probably the next day, like maybe a little bit of side effects. It was like the nausea, the stomach fullness, but they weren't super bad. Some people are fine until they get to a certain dose and then boom, side effects, even though they've had none on all the lower doses. So everybody's a little different with that.
All right.
Binging at night.
I was going to say, I can't pin that comment. I'm trying like hell to pin tips and binging at night. I struggle with wanting to do this.
Same.
Right. Welcome to my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For many, many years. So a couple of things. It's got to be habit driven, right? So one of the things that Neil always talks about is eating breakfast, eating a protein breakfast. It helps set you up to make better decisions throughout the day. Be on a GLP-1, it reduces the dopamine hit cycle from binging if you're on an appropriate dose. That's what I talk about when I talk about my brain's calm right now on 7.5. I can still eat. I mean, I just ate a bunch of fruit like this much. That's not what this drug is for me anymore. It allows me to make nutritious choices that I normally cannot make. If I eat nutritious food throughout the day, my propensity to binge is much, much smaller, which is why I fast, like what Courtney was saying, because I'll just not eat all day because then I can allow, like I have enough room to overeat the drug. I'm a volume addict. So if I eat highly refined foods, it will allow me to overeat the drug. I cannot binge on fruit. I say I'm a volume addict, but it's kind of a fake thing. If I eat highly refined foods, then I can keep going, and I'll keep going until I'm miserable on a GLP-1 or not. Doesn't matter. So it's that first compulsive bite that I have issues with. It makes me sound unique, right? Not so much. So set yourself up for success. Get 50 grams of protein in by noon. Keep on a schedule of some sort. And then once you're done with dinner, you're done eating for the day. I say this like I do it, right? I'll try like hell.
Well, this question's
My-
for you. Oh, good.
My propensity for whether it's a binge or just eating a snack that is not very nutritious before I go to bed is much worse if I don't eat a sound dinner. If I, for whatever reason, I ate a good lunch, I really don't need much of a dinner, I'm just not going to have dinner, I'm probably going to be clawing at the pantry door later. So I know that I need to eat a decent dinner at a decent hour, and then I have much less desire to eat later.
Courtney, I love the voice in your head.
Right? I was thinking the same thing. Like my voice
It's
doesn't
great.
sound that nice.
I've known you like 10 plus years and I've never heard that voice before. I love it.
Me neither, right? I was like, that was perfect.
This one, Mama Cocoa Bean. I'm guessing GLP-1s aren't recommended for those with eating disorder recovery or in eating disorder recovery.
So we do not treat eating disorders, but we will address disordered eating behaviors. Don't you love that disclaimer? That's fantastic. If you're a full-blown anorexic, I'm not treating that shit. It's too medically intricate for me to deal with over telehealth. However, we do treat a lot of pathologic behaviors because like those of us who are 50, 100, 200, 300 pounds up, we didn't get there not having disordered eating patterns. Okay. I don't give a shit if you tell me it's your thyroid. It isn't. It's your brain. Could be your thyroid too. Get that checked. But so they're actually being prescribed in addiction trials. And I know people will say food is not an addiction. I don't care what people say. I care about my own life and my own success and the success of my patients. So if you have a compulsion to throw up every time you eat, that needs inpatient eating disorder. Oh, I'm sorry, in-person, might be inpatient too, in-person eating disorder treatment. But if you take a GLP-1 and it decreases the compulsion to throw up, I would use that drug if I were someone who treated eating disorders.
Dawn's saying, trying to shift my diet with starting meds, my brain default to obsessing and eating every 2 hours. I think you can still do that. I think just an itty bitty amount of food in the stomach helps a little bit with like acid reflux. So small meals, I like small frequent meals. I'm okay with that.
Me too. I'm not a big meal eater unless I'm binging. And I have to be real careful about that. So, hi, Net. Let's see. I have high prolactin and low progesterone. Where the hell's Amanda? Oh, and how do we feel about drinking coffee on an empty stomach? I do it every day. They're trying to change because I've heard it helps cortisol. I don't know. To me, that's a small rock. For me, my big rocks still suck. So I got to work on it. I say suck, right? Because I would like them to be perfect. All right. Gave a follow. Oh, thanks. Thanks. My binge tends to be sugar-filled items. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's all you can fit in, especially in a GLP-1, right? Back in the day, here, let me get vulnerable. You ready? My binges would be close to 15,000 calories. And I'm not talking in a day, I'm talking in about a half hour and a half. No, I didn't throw up. That's why I was fat. So I was jealous of my bulimic friends because I never threw up. Totally not pathologic, right? So if I binge now, it's usually, and it is still a binge, right? Because it's the brain thing. It's that compulsion to eat. I can pull off 1,000 to 2,000 calories, but that's about it. That's about all I can do. And over the years, my binges have calmed down to, 8,000, 4,000, because of course I used to track all the time when I was very good at tracking. I would still track them because I'm like, listen, you got to know where your maintenance is. So the sugar filled items, if I eat sugar, candy, ice cream, that sort of thing, it will allow me to overeat the drug. No problem. It's like, I'm not even on it. And it's not just for that day. It knocks it out for days after. Very frustrating because of course I don't want to be stuck in this cycle for the rest of my life, right? I've already been in a binge cycle, binge or not, binge restrict cycle for 46 years. I would really prefer 44 years. I would really prefer not to continue that cycle. So that's why it's the regular meals, it's the lifestyle stuff, the same thing we talk about, hit your protein goals, eat food, mostly plants and shakes, not too much. Do the things, move, sleep, stress, all of those things, right? But yeah, and I bet your binge item now, Neil will tell this. I was gonna say, I bet your binging occurs later, but if you start the day with donuts, we're all screwed. So,
Yeah. And the coffee on an empty stomach. So one thing that we have all been, I think all of us, I don't know about Neil, the ladies on here have been adding 2 scoops of collagen to our coffee in the morning to get a bit of protein. Gives us 20 grams of protein straight out the door with the coffee that we were already drinking. I don't know if adding protein would help with cortisol levels. My guess is probably, if you're getting something other than just the straight caffeine, adding a little bit of protein in there may help. So good, quick way to get 20 grams without thinking about it straight out the door.
Oh yeah, Leslie, those little tangerines, I can eat all of it, like the whole package. The sugar sweetened dried fruit. Yeah, I can't. Dried fruit, sweetened dried fruit is a no-go for me, unfortunately. It's in my list. So downside, Dawn said, downside is I obsess over food eating that often. It's called food noise. It has a name now, and it never had a name for like the vast majority of my life. And I never even knew what it was until I took tirzepatide. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, shit, it's quiet up here. Like, I had no idea. I didn't know it was a thing. Like Oprah said on her special, I thought everyone had all this willpower. Lord knows we didn't even know y'all weren't thinking about the food. So I cracked me up when she said that. I was like, yeah, that's the best statement of the whole thing. I had no idea. Like,
Yeah.
this is it.
Yep.
I'm kind of pissed a little, like Oprah was on the show. These drugs have been around for 20 years and now I go to the Cleveland Clinic and now you just tell me.
Yeah.
But the old ones weren't that effective. Tirzepatide was really the first one that had the widespread food noise quelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Byetta would not have helped her.
Right. Byetta was not working.
No.
The Bideron was not your savior.
Yeah.
Right. Like now that it's quiet, you're like I can just chill. I'm hungry, so I'll probably grab a slice of toast with avocado. But
Mama Coco, there's nothing wrong with eating bacon. Moderation. Everything in moderation. If you take it away, all you're going to do is want it and then want it more, and then you're going to overeat it when you get it. So, just limit yourself.
With my avocado.
Yeah, just limit yourself. Like, okay, I'm going to have one slice.
Yeah. Or even if you eat it every day.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's also the nitrite food thing, but Lord knows that's not a big rock. Right? Protein's more important for right now, and bacon is not a protein source. Not an
It's not a great one.
Well, I mean, okay, it has protein in it. It's not like I love bacon. Give me the whole pig. All right, try to limit it. You know what?
Just make one piece. Like, no, who wants to like splash grease twice? Just make one piece.
Right? Or, like the hospital bacon, I could eat an entire plate of that shit. It's so good.
Our deal used to grab a gigantic plate every morning. He's like, well, when I have a heart attack, he's like, I have something to give up. So I'll just eat my bacon until then. I'm like, okay.
That's a fantastic way to do it. I'm not going to lie. Can you explain how they help burn fat? So they're not like truly a fat burner. I want to put my foot up here, but it's going to shake my phone. My hip hurts today. Bacon and hard boiled egg. There you go. Mama Cocoa Bean, I want you to eat that every day. I want you to make sure you eat your bacon every day. Unless your LDL is like 1,000, then don't. But I want you to eat that every day, and I want you to make yourself eat bacon every day. It'll lose its luster pretty quickly. So they don't burn fat like a fat burning drug. They are multifactorial. Let's see if I can find a good way to explain this. They're multifactorial. They both allow your brain to be satisfied with less food. They repair metabolic processes, so they allow your body to use the calories from your food more effectively. And by doing those two things together, you burn the excess fat that you stored over the years. Does that sound reasonable?
Mhm.
Dawn is nervous
Oh, yeah.
about her first
Fuck
injection.
yeah, Dawn. Do it today.
Everybody's nervous. You are
What?
programmed since you're a kid to be terrified of needles because you only go to the doctor to get your vaccines. And they hurt. They use big needles. This is an itty bitty needle. It doesn't really hurt. And after your first one, you're going to be fine.
So let's read that because I interrupted Neil. So Dawn said, I'm nervous to do my first injection, but stopping food noise might make me do this today. I want you to come back next week, Dawn, and tell us how it is.
Yeah.
So Mama Coco Bean, who tells you burn 700 calories lifting weights? Is it a calculator? Yeah, come back next week, Dawn. I can't wait. Because if it's a calculator, they're lying to you.
Unfortunate, but true.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So what you should do, I know, do it, Dawn. Do it, Dawn. Do it, Dawn. We're a bunch of freaking drug pushers here. Only because we see the flip side. Looked into AMS but can't afford it. I'm down 10 pounds but have been stuck. So Emma dear, here's the deal. We get that. We're pretty stinking cheap. We don't trust me. Ask my providers. And my support staff. No, because we don't jack up the prices to make a shit ton of money. We keep our prices lean. We run really lean. So you can't afford it is a scarcity mindset thought process, right? If your food, I still want someone to do a comparison of the food bill on a GLP-1. One of our patients did and spent like $300 less a month because we understand it. It's an investment. It's an investment. It's $89 a month for our care, then plus whatever pharmacy you go through by state. So it'll depend. We mark up our pharmacy charges because we collect the prescriptions and send them, and that costs people to do that. But it's also still cheaper. Like South Lake, for example, charges you twice as much as if we bill you, which is super shitty. I mean, whatever, they can do what they want, but we do that for a reason. And a lot of pharmacies won't even allow that anyway. So I don't spend near what I used to with buying food. Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Same. Like I actually, I buy things like avocados and fruit. I buy raspberries without batting an eyelash because I'm like, which is so funny. It's like, it's my random thing. I'm on this raspberry kick. I don't care if they're expensive. I eat so much less food. I'll start tracking my food costs too. I'm 100% sure. See, Dawn, rocking it.
Yeah. One of our old scribes, he was saving $60 a week.
$60 a week.
Wow.
Cost of being fat is worse than the cost of the meds. Yep. Oh my God. So yeah. So and I don't even talk about the emotional cost. I was talking about that this morning. I looked in the mirror at the gym and I did one of the double takes. Like, holy shit, that's me. Like, my friend doesn't I was going to run with a friend the other day inadvertently. And she's like, yeah, I didn't know it was you. She goes, I still have the old you in my head. Because I saw her far away and she's like, yeah, I didn't know it was you. So, oh, that's awesome with fruit. That's nice. Trying to figure out the best route to get my meds. Yeah. So, the cheapest route, if you have a primary that prescribes, if your insurance doesn't cover it, right? Cheapest routes if insurance covers and can find the meds. Just can't find them either. So cheapest route would be a primary care doctor who will prescribe compounded semaglutide. Because for us, you can start on semaglutide at $150. And if your primary does an insurance copay of $25, you can get it for under $200. So that would be the kind of cheapest route, I think. Saving on alcohol alone in the food. Yeah. Melva, that's a fantastic. Again, things I don't think about because I don't drink anymore. Told you about my bad decisions, right? I remember that skinny girl feeling. Oh God, Dawn, I can't wait. I don't recognize yourself. You know why? Because it's not the real you. That's the thing. We lived in these fat suits for so many years, convinced it was our own willpower that couldn't get us to where we needed to be. Big fat fucking lies.
You're not lying.
Where is it at? What pharmacy would the compound be sent to? Someone's asking. So we use 6, 7
Sorry, I'm
different
trying
compounding pharmacies.
I think 5 now.
We use Empower Pharmacy, Axtel Right Value, Compounding Pharmacy of America, Link Pharmacy, Drug Crafters, Southlake is who we're at.
Yeah, no South End because they were trying to run the way we do medicine, and that won't work for me.
Yeah, all the costs depending on the state. Some are a little different. Some don't ship to certain states because of the licenses.
Sally said Texas also yay. Sally said Texas 7.3 yay. For those of you later wonder, oh, look at that. Look at that. Nice. There we go. If you're looking on the tube, which would be at Watch Dr. Mo.
Mine's vintage.
Amanda's is vintage from 2012.
Mama Cocoa Bean. We do not prescribe in California.
Oh.
That is Maribel Campos.
And you can go to Maribel Telehealth, Maribel telehealth.com. She'll get you taken care of. Yeah, let go of the disappointment. It does hold you back, but I get it. You guys know I beat myself up all the time. Georgia. No Georgia. That would be Nikki Baldwin at hamiltontelehealth.com. And these aren't people, we don't get kickbacks or anything. We just like them. They're good people. Can I fill the script if I'm traveling in another state? Absolutely. That's April on
Yay, Angela's in Michigan.
Come on, Angela. Come on. North Carolina. No. So Kristen, North Carolina and South Carolina sort of pissed me off as a doctor. If Neil or Courtney wanted to get a different collaborating physician or Amanda, whatever, but you happen to be who I saw in my field of vision here. If one of my nurse practitioners wanted to get North Carolina and got a different collaborating provider than me and paid like $500 a month, they could do it. I have to live physically in the state of North and South Carolina or have an office in the state. So I could do an office space there and do it. What a freaking pain in the ass. I don't get it. This whole telehealth state thing, guys, it's in telehealth. We just need to get with the program. So that's fine. So April's asking, will I need a special pharmacy in Nevada or do I need to get it filled in Texas and mailed to me? It depends. If you are getting compounded, we need an address to send it when it sends. Not a problem. You're in our, now we have to make sure they have a license to ship to Nevada. I don't know if we have any Nevada. I'd have to look on the admin compound sheet because it's not listed. Huh? Oh, Empower will ship everywhere. So, except for like the Mississippi weirdness or whatever. Wisconsin, I think. But anyway, I know Empower will ship to Nevada. So if you're doing compounded, you have to do wherever it'll go. If it's branded, we just send it over electronically. So that's easy. Hold on. We got it. Controversy. Melva's got controversy. You need to change provider. What were they saying?
It's from Deja Brown. She pays $6.50 a month for tirzepatide in Maryland. She picks up 4 pre-filled syringes.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. I hate the med spa thing. Guys, come on. Even if you're out there, because I coach healthcare providers too. If you run a med spa, be a doctor, be a provider. I don't know. You don't be shady. Please.
Give advice. Like one of our techs is going to kind of like a med spa because of a cousin or aunt or something. Yeah, and I'm coaching her.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they give you a shot and they want you to come back. It's like another profession that we know and love. They want you to keep coming. And I get it. It's money in their pocket and they're a brick and mortar. My brick and mortar I live in. So they have an office that they've got to pay costs for. And I get that. It makes them have to mark things up, right? So like when my husband says, you should open an office like close because we'd make a lot of money. I'm like, no, I wouldn't. Because then I got to pay for rent and lights and things and desks and humans in the seats. I have humans, but they're all in their own seats in their own house.
Then we have to get on like real clothes to like drive there.
Yeah. Nobody even knows I have pants on. Just kidding. I got up earlier. Okay, what did you Neil? It was a good face. What was it?
Oh, TMCs. A guy in Georgia was sold fake Ozempic and ended up in the hospital because the syringe was full of insulin.
So
Yep.
here's the kicker. Counterfeit Ozempic ended up in the regular supply chain in brand name pharmacies in the US. So when people ask me, is compound safe? Heck, safe as anything.
Yeah. Deidre Brown. So Deidre Brown's doctor is a former ER trauma surgeon or trauma physician, spends a lot of time with patients, which is fantastic. That's actually great.
Who is it? I want to know because I want to tout him. I love that. I love that people are doing what we're doing. We're all emergency medicine trained. Amanda now works with vaginas, but there's that. I'm probably going to get flagged on TikTok for saying the V word.
Lady bit.
Lady bits. All right. You can get it from Amble for $310 a month. Yes. Oh, so we're asking our pricing. So it does go up as you go up because that's the way they price the amount of medication, which is actually kind of how it should be done, right? If you want more Tylenol, you got to pay for more Tylenol. So it starts at 200 for tirzepatide, starts at 150 for semaglutide. If you're on 15, one of our pharmacies, depending on the state, you can get tirzepatide 60 milligrams for $440. Ask Amanda how she changes in hormone-like cycles on GLP-1.
So it's similar to any other hormone change. Your body's going to adjust over about a 3-month time frame, but the weight loss in general is what's really affecting the hormones, not the GLP-1 directly. As far as, when people talk hormones like estrogen, yada, yada. And for guys, so I re-listened to podcast because we've had some of our patients talk about their libidos. And I'm sure Neil knows all about this. The adipose tissue puts out, and I can't remember what the conversion is, but converts your testosterone to estrogen in the male. So as the male loses a significant amount of weight, they will increase their testosterone. And yeah, high androgen PCOS, the weight loss is what you need. Same thing, but in reverse. You will still have PCOS, but everything will get better as your weight goes down. There you go.
J, I can't pull you up. I don't know what's going, like, I can't do certain things on TikTok and I don't know why. We are in Ohio.
Yep.
Yippers. Expiration time. The FDA says you cannot use past an expiration date of 28 days once punctured. It's the expiration date itself is much longer, but once you puncture it, the FDA says you can't use it past 28 days. So that would be 5 weeks of meds. J&J, so you're still confused. Yes, it's safe on gastric bypass, post-gastric sleeve. Sorry, whatever. Same-ish. Not same. Bariatric surgeons, they're like, that's not the same. Totally not the same. I get it. But I can't want to use the last 20 pounds. Well, see, so here's the thing. So if you go into a doctor, we won't balk at that. But if you go into a doctor and say, I want to lose the last 20 pounds, they're going to say, fine, then eat less and move more, which annoys a little bit for me. But my whole thing is, how about instead, think about it this way. It's not about losing the last 20 pounds. It's about improving your metabolic health so that you can continue the success you've had since your gastric sleeve and get in a place where you'll be able to maintain it long term, maybe with meds, maybe not. We don't know till you get there, right? We don't know where the road goes for you personally. It just sort of depends. But you just want to keep going on your journey, right? That's it. And this is a part of it. We have no problem prescribing post-gastric bariatric surgery. Compound is not covered under insurance.
But you can use your HSA FSA card.
Oh, yeah. I forget that. I found an HSA card with like $2,000 on it the other day. I was like,
where to join as a patient, amstelehealth.com. Come see us.
Well, or Maribel Telehealth if you're in California.
Yep. And then J of Ya, One of the questions was they were confused. Do we see people or take calls? So we are asynchronous telehealth with a once a year video visit for about 10 minutes. But we do all of our care through secure database text lines, asynchronously.
Yeah. So if you go to AMS Telehealth, click be a patient, picture it like walking into a doctor's office and they hand you a clipboard. That click be a patient is the clipboard. So once you fill out the stuff on the clipboard, you can hand it back to us effectively. When you hit submit, and that gets you in the waiting room to see a provider, you will get a text that we talk about things, we get things started. And then once we get things started, you schedule, if you want to schedule a video visit right away, you're like, hey, I want to do the video visit first. Fine. We send you the invoices, do the things. But we talk back and forth asynchronously when we decide that we're actually a good fit. Because we don't want to take your money if you're like, I don't think I'm ready to do it. Okay. We don't really push anybody. So Dawn, full pricing info on our site. We don't because it changes all the time. That's why we let you come in. And now we're letting you come into school again for 30 days till you figure out, but it won't take that long.
I have an old school list.
Old school, get it? SKOOL AMSprivategroup.com is our patient specific group. So once you fill out the intake forms will pop you into the group and you can see, or you can ask, you can say, hey, I'm in X state, which is all at AMS Telehealth. You can say, we're in this state. What are the prices you have? Our support staff, like think of our receptionist, they would hand you a pamphlet that says, here are the pharmacies we offer in those states. So they'll tell you by text. Oh, when you reach your healthy weight, do you stay on a maintenance dose? Not everyone has to. In the studies, the majority of people had to. There are cardiovascular and inflammatory benefits, so I don't necessarily think going off is a great idea. And my brain is crazy, so I need to. That's me personally. Neil went off.
Yep.
Neil doesn't have
I'm
crazy.
off. It's been like a year, I think now.
Yeah.
And maintaining, I kind of don't, now I don't really crave anything and nothing really sounds good. I eat and it's fine.
That food apathy right there is like the holy grail.
Good and bad though. You know what I mean? Like used to like, ooh, cookie dough. Now it's kind of like, it's cookie dough. It won't be that good. I'll eat it and I'm like,
Just signed up with another place with great pricing, but I like you guys. Dawn, you can also go to amspublicgroup.com. It's a Facebook group, free. I post shit there sometimes. Not as often as I should, but we've got a new marketer coming on 2 weeks. So hopefully I'll free up some time. Or come be a patient. That's fine too. I eat and it's fine, right? What the fuck is that? What is this apathy of which you speak? I'm so jealous for Neil. I know, right? I just don't. I know. But there are some people who get very depressed because no longer is food a source of enjoyment, right? Oh, we got to go find some other things. And sometimes those other things are gambling or shopping. So you got to be worried about addiction transfer. But the good thing is these medications, unlike gastric sleeve, which just cuts out the ghrelin part, so it's the food hormonal part, does some other things too. And with the fat loss, it also, decreases the hormonal feedback from that endocrine organ that was your excess fat. But quite a few bariatric surgery patients have addiction transfer issues. When you're on these medications, it's different because it cuts off that dopamine cycle. The reward cycle is like, meh, okay. When you're at an appropriate dose. Watch two parents who are addicts. Oh yeah. Yeah, get in line, man. You're next. Or you'd just be a codependent like me. That's my original addiction. I'm the quintessential codependent. Great. AMSpublicgroup.com is the Facebook group. AMSprivategroup.com is for patients. And then the YouTube channel is watchdrmo.com. Spell it either way. I bought both. It has an E at the end of Mo. I wonder if I should buy the other ones without the E. Probably not. $12 a year, Probably worth it. Fuck. Okay. Let me put that on the list. Sorry. It probably, okay. And if you're offended by swearing, I'm probably not your person. Clean. Good job. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you're there. So yeah, you just have food addiction now. Oh, sorry about that. It happens to the best of us. But good job for being clean. That's freaking amazing. 8 years. Nice. Congrats. Congrats. You'll love this drug then. Ooh, I'm excited. Yeah. Long term. Okay. Was I writing it down? Yeah, Dr. Mo with no E. On the list. All right. Let's wrap this up before my alarm goes off in a minute. Gained 70 pounds in like 4 years. That's called addiction transfer.
Yeah.
We got you. We got you. It'll get better. It'll get better. All right. What else we got? Last minute questions. Lights are on. Sticky floor. You can see it.
Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.
Ozempic constipation. Oh yeah, somebody asked, do you start laxatives? Athletic Greens works like a champ. Makes my guts feel great, better than my kombucha. I still do the kombucha. Kombucha a day. I started taking probiotic gummies too. That was new today. I also started taking B12 today. I know, more than one thing at once. Whatever, it is what it is. In the beginning, I needed Miralax with water, right? Not like put it in water. I'm gonna quote Neil here. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. Where do I get it? Where do I get
I think your greens.
the greens? It's Athletic Greens, which is anywhere. Athletic Greens. Oops. Hold on, sorry, that was my alarm. Athletic Greens. It's all very informative. Awesome. That's our goal. I think they have it on Amazon. I have samples that I was given for Ironman, and then a bunch of pros gave me some samples. So that's when I decided I'm gonna try it for 3 weeks because I got it. Let's see. Yep, Amazon Green sells AG1 Athletic Greens. It's cheaper than I thought. Mine was free.
Oh, Catherine, liquid IV is the IV thing that for electrolytes. Tastes like seawater for some people. You might have to try to find your flavor that you like.
Yeah. I prefer Body Armor Light, LYTE. Can you talk about hair loss? Look at Neil. If you happen to be on YouTube, look at Neil. Well, you can look at Neil in his picture. Just kidding. I lost 4 to 5 months in hoping it stops. It does stop. I got a bunch of hair now. My Muppet hairs are almost gone. Once your weight loss stabilizes, way to combat that would be biotin and protein. Protein, collagen, protein, and biotin. Same thing, right? We keep telling people the same thing, right? It's like, do these things.
The big thing, it's not the medications causing it. It's just the rapid weight loss. It's the decreased calorie. Whether you lost it with the meds or not, it's probably going to happen if it's going to happen to you.
Correct. Yeah, like I lost half my hair when I had my kid too. And now I have these weird parts on both sides. They're not even, and it looks super bizarro. Yes, Nutrafol, Maribel. Yes, absolutely. Liquid IV with vitamin C, berry flavored. Oh, okay, I'll try that. I tried the passion fruit, hoping it would be like the Publix knockoff that they don't make anymore. It's not. I'm still bummed. I love the Publix knockoff. I still have like 2 pouches left that I'm like, I don't know, just drink them, right? Like, who cares? Just, I have them saved just because. All righty. Sugar-free lemon lime is so good. All right, well, that's good to know. I'll try it. I'll try it. B12 injections. Yeah, we prescribe those as well. An AMS patient. Oh, well, okay. Trying to do all the things. Do all the things and send me a message and say you're a patient. So that way I'm trying to make sure I know who's in the room. And I want to make sure. So, all right, only one. It's like the immune version of, okay. Liquid IV berry. All right, we're going to look. I'm going to look and see. All right, let's do all the things. If you're a patient, we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. If you're not a patient, go to amstelehealth.com, check out our states. And kudos for being able to find Zepbound. Feeling faint. Yes, it's usually because you're dehydrated, not hydrating with electrolytes, and or like our other patient or our other person on the live earlier, they have hypoglycemic episodes and they've got to really tailor what they eat. So that's definitely a provider question. But yeah, I feel super woozy if I don't drink enough fluids, and enough fluids is hard because you're not eating as much. All right. I'm going to end the live on the TikTok. We'll see you guys next week. And I am going to